Clap.
Yeah, let's clap.
Okay.
On you.
Okay. Welcome back to Game Plan Audible. Today we are going to go through match predictions for UFC BJJ 4. It's going to be on Thursday, December 11th at the Apex, the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Do you want to start off with our first match?
Yeah, so we got the match list here. First match of the night, we have Pinheiro versus Formiga. What do we know about them?
All right, so Jesse A. Formiga is a former flyweight in the UFC. So
This is Bantam, right?
yeah, so he's
Former flyweight.
doesn't want to cut to 125 for
Fair.
a grappling match, but I think he's retired from MMA at this point. I'm not sure. Versus Lucas Pinheiro, aka Bad Boy. He's a gi and no gi world champion. He's like super well established in the grappling scene. So this is just like a BJJ black belt versus a former UFC fighter. So I've been expecting this on the UFC BJJ cards for a while, where they're going to include some either current or probably former fighters against some of the grapplers. So starting the night off with already a jiu-jitsu world champion versus a MMA fighter.
Do you think this will be similar to, I mean, maybe at a different level, because we just went over some of the stuff for WNO and we had situations where there was like a grappler versus kind of like a MMA fighter. Do you think we'll have a similar kind of play out?
Yeah, I can actually tell you it's going to be Andy's opponent. It's going to be kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got two of them on for this card. 2 out of the 10 matches are going to be kind of grappler versus MMA guy, just like on the WNO.
Yeah. Except we have the bowl to work with.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually definitely a benefit back to the MMA fighters.
Yeah.
Although the bowl is not the same, like William said, there's a difference between the pit and the bowl.
For sure.
And like a cage. So if you're
sure.
like a really good cage wrestler, it's not actually going to translate as well to the pit or the bowl. But I think where it translates the best is the 5-minute rounds and 1-minute rest. I think being used to that's going to help.
And not getting pushed out.
Yeah, and being used to going for 5 continuous minutes.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, sick. Let's do the next one, featherweight match. We have Landon Elmore versus Nate Hernandez.
Yeah, dude. Landon Elmore versus Nate Hernandez is a super sick and exciting match for me. Both these guys are from Texas. So both actually kind of from the Houston area. Landon moved to Austin a few years back, being a part of Kingsway. So he's been with Gordon and John Danaher for a couple of years now, I want to say. And he comes from like the dark side gyms. So really good like leg lockers in Houston. They were kind of, in my opinion, one of the first gyms in Texas that were like actually hitting leg locks. And that was like kind of their style.
Yeah.
Nate actually comes from the same network of people, just like a affiliate of some of those guys. I don't think the two were ever teammates, but they kind of come from the same area and the same kind of coaches. I think they've probably worked with a lot of the similar people. So Landon's been on a hot streak. He just won EBI with all subs.
I remember that.
He beat Bryce Mitchell in that. And he's just been crushing it. He also did PGF recently, so he's been getting a ton of mat time, and he's also been winning a lot. So super excited to see him on UFC BJJ. Same thing with Nate Hernandez. He's been recently, he's joined Innovat with Samuel Nagai and Mateus
Outside
Gabriel.
of Houston, right?
Yeah, outside. And they're actually popping up quite a bit of affiliates as well.
Okay.
So they've got a little bit of a network going on. Nate has been working with them, showing tons of improvement. He was kind of a no-gi guy before, and I've seen him been throwing the gi back on. Not that that helps for this match, but I just love seeing these guys that are high-level leg lockers also, doing some old school jiu-jitsu as well. So both guys, I would say, are going to favor towards leg locks. We've seen Landon hit the flying triangles, so you know that he's got that in his arsenal. Definitely, if there's going to be a sub, it's going to be a leg lock in that match.
Leg shootout.
Yeah, leg shootout or the triangle from Landon for sure.
Okay, moving on. We have the next one, another featherweight match. We have Mir v. Willink.
Yeah, dude. So the battle of like badass dads. Bella Mir is Frank Mir's daughter. If you don't know Frank Mir, he's a UFC legend. He's got the Mir lock, another guy with a submission named after him. Yeah, exactly. So Bella's actually an MMA fighter. She's 4-0 in pro MMA. So I've seen her compete on the UFC BJJ stage before. She won. So she's really tough with having Frank Mir as her dad. I'm sure she just grew up like wrestling. I think she wrestled in college. But already has a 4-0 pro MMA record. So she's totally accustomed to the 5-minute rounds and the 1-minute break. She's going up against Rana Willink, Jocko's daughter. So probably a similar background, right? Jocko runs Victory MMA in San Diego. Really well-established MMA gym. They've been producing fighters for a super long time. She probably grew up in that gym. So she's, pretty
100%.
similar background for both of them. I think the difference is that Rana's been more into like the ADCC scene recently, whereas Bella, being a mixed martial artist, probably came up doing more disciplines. So maybe Rana's a little bit more into the grappling scene and like the ADCC circuit. But like I said, we've already seen Bella Mir out there before, so I'm expecting her to do really well. So I'm not sure what their sizes kind of compare. I don't know who's the bigger fighter in this one. But it's going to be really sick to see Frank Mir and Jocko kind of coaching during that matchup. So I'm really excited to watch that one.
All right. Andy Varela versus Robbie Maloff.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about, where it's a MMA fighter versus MMA. Andy Varela. So we all know Andy Varela is like a super exciting grappler, and I've heard him say this before, like, don't give me those guard pullers, right? He wants someone that's going to meet him in the center and exchange in wrestling and takedowns. His last UFC BJJ match, he got the elbow pass straight to the jumping on the guy's back and straight into the rear naked choke. So I'm happy that Andy got someone that's probably going to be willing to scrap with him in the middle of the bowl. So my expectation on this one is just Andy Varela doing Andy Varela shit. He's going to be jumping all over the dude, doing backflips, trying to pick him up and slam him. And
plenty of highlights from that.
I don't know much about Robbie, but being an MMA fighter, like, he's going to be tough. And so I think he'll be hard to hold down, even if Andy can get him down.
All right, let's see. Nagai Olivares.
Yeah, so more Texans on this card. Houston. So Samuel Nagai's not, I don't think, a native Texan, but he's out of Innivat, outside of Houston. He won Black Belt Worlds in the GI 2023. I got to witness that. It was really cool. He recently beat Cobrinha's son. Oh my gosh. Why can't I? Kennedy Maciel at UFC BJJ 2 or maybe 3. Mm-hmm. So it was in 3. It was in UFC BJJ 3.
The last one.
Yeah, he beat Kennedy Maciel. It was close, but he was able to take it. And so it's Samuel Nagai versus Dorian Olivares. Like I said, Samuel Nagai is a Black Belt World Champion. Dorian Olivares, he won East Coast Trials in 2023. He was at CJI this year. Had some really impressive performances there. I don't think he's lost anything in his category in quite a while. Yeah. He's a wrestler with extremely aggressive passing. He uses his head like it's made out of concrete or something. I mean, he just throws his head in there without any regard, it seems like. So we know that Dorian's takedowns are good. We know that his passing is strong. Samuel Nagai's got a great background in judo, so he's got good foot sweeps, throws. So I think in the takedowns, Dorian's going to be putting a lot of pressure on Sam, but there's always that judo counter I think that he could pull off. But it's probably likely that Sam's going to have to try to get a sweep off of his back dealing with Dorian. So it'll be interesting to see how Samuel's guard holds up against Dorian's passing.
That'll definitely be another high energy.
Oh,
super
yeah.
high energy match.
Yeah, especially like Samuel's the kind of guy, like he does that whole like crazy samurai movement before his matches. His nickname's Samurai. And Dorian's just so intense. So I think like that face-off, that energy right before the match is going to be super intense.
Yeah.
And they'll probably not very different from the match right before them, where like they're probably going to meet in the center and scrap it out. Yeah, pretty hard.
All right, let's see. We have Renato Canuto versus Alan Sanchez.
Dude, yeah, like this whole fight card is so good, or all these matches are so good. So Renato Canuto, he went up against Andrew in the first championship fight for the welterweight belt, and he gave Andrew a great match. It was close. So he comes from like a dad who's a black belt. He's super well established in the jiu-jitsu scene. His wife is also on the card as well, Raquel. So they've been like competing together and just getting really good for a long time. So it's Renato Canuto up against Alan Sanchez. And I think that this match is a potential contender matchup for the belt at 170. I think that Renato losing to Andrew still keeps him up as like a top contender for sure. Mm-hmm. Alan Sanchez is like an elite submission specialist. So what's cool about this matchup is Renato is actually kind of stylistically more like Andrew, very dynamic and can just tumble around moving. Alan Sanchez is like that sloth technician. So he's better at like slowing the pace down,
calculated,
making it super technical. And he's just got these like really solid submissions, and a couple of them are kind of unique too. So I think that matchup kind of depends on, is Alan able to slow Renato down, or is Renato able to just run the pace on him?
Yeah.
And so I think that Renato will have to be especially cautious running that pace on someone who's so good at catching subs.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think it's a potential contender matchup. Whoever wins that, in my eyes, is moving themselves up to earning a title shot at 170 very soon.
All right, we have Bastos v. Aliquin.
Yeah, so Maisa Bastos versus Amanda Tubby Aliquin. I've watched both of them compete a ton. They're both at the top of the game. Maisa's like 5-time world champion. She doesn't lose very often. Tubby's been on the no-gi scene for the last like 5 years, showing out all the time. I think her coach is Marcio Cruz. She's super tough, has a really good guard. I think of her as pretty well-rounded. Maisa Bastos is probably one of the better guards, so could be looking at like some seated leg pummeling, but I would never count Tubby out. So Maisa could see some tough challenges in this match, and I'm not sure how much I've seen Maisa in like a pit or a bowl, so I think that'll also be interesting. I've seen a lot of the very traditional jiu-jitsu athletes go into stuff like cage matches where they're not as accustomed to that environment, and the pit is easy to replicate, right? B Team has a pit.
Yeah.
We built one at Fight Factory.
Right.
The bowl is like very tricky.
It's a bit harder,
Yeah, trying to get that curve.
Need a curve.
So even if you can go somewhere else to train, I don't think you can really prepare for the bowl until you're out there. So
yeah, not quite
be
as much.
interested to see how that one plays out.
All right, Raquel Canuto versus Orly Laverne.
Okay, so I've actually got to watch both of them compete in UFC BJJ in the bowl. I believe Raquel was the champ, lost it, and then won it back, I want to say. And she's kind of been on like all the UFC BJJ cards. She brings like her whole squad. Her gym's out in Vegas, so she's a Vegas local.
Nice.
They get super loud for her. I didn't know Laverne, I want to say, until I saw her in the last UFC BJJ, or maybe UFC BJJ 2. She got an Americana and half guard against Maggie Grandotti. And Maggie Grandotti is like a super legit competitor as well. And what I can say about Raquel is like she's super tough, and I've seen her like get her back taken, get out of it, and go sub people, right? So like she can grind it through. She's always got that ability to come back from whatever and still win. Laverne, just super physical, dude. Really big for this weight class, and just looks super strong. So, like I said, she got an Americana and half guard. That's like a strong move, right?
Yeah.
In a pro match. So I would say something to look out for on that match is just like Laverne's size and strength, and see how that matches up against Raquel. Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have William Tackett versus Ronaldo Jr.
Dude, I mean, I can't say enough nice things about William, right? We've been friends for, long time. So William Tackett up against Ronaldo Jr., middleweight title for the UFC BJJ. William is out of Fight Factory in Austin. Ronaldo's out of Atos under Andre Galvao. Ronaldo did win Worlds No-Gi 2023, so he's super legit. William's been on a tear this summer. He did Fight Pass 11 and then UFC BJJ 2, quick subs in both of those.
Yep.
I think William's a little undersized against Ronaldo, but if you think back to his match before UFC or before Fight Pass 11, it was against Joao Rocha at CJI 1.
Yeah.
So he was down like 80
Talk
pounds
about undersized.
or something. Yeah, so he's also had matches against Victor Hugo where he performed well. He's totally down to compete against bigger guys. Ronaldo is nowhere near that much bigger.
Yeah.
So I think that size difference, I don't think it's going to affect him too much. So, Williams won trials. He won trials in West Coast 2023. Ronaldo Jr. has a dub over William's teammate Cody Steele. So I feel like William's going to want to get that back, get the title. Ronaldo Jr., though, he comes from one of the best teams, Atos and Andre Galvao. What you have to deal with those guys is Andre Galvao's tactics. He's like a strategy and tactics specialist. So whatever the path to victory is for Ronaldo, I guarantee you that Andre has figured that out and is coaching him through whatever that path may
Going
be.
through that pipeline.
Yeah. So I haven't seen Ronaldo as much lately. William very recently, like I said, he's been on a tear this summer. He's looking really good. So I think Ronaldo will be willing to exchange wrestling with William. I don't foresee Ronaldo pulling guard. Not that his guard's not good. It's just I think for that strategy and tactics against William, they're probably looking to capitalize off some tell in the wrestling. So that way Ronaldo can jump on his back or stuff the takedowns and make him take bad shots or something like that. But super looking forward to it. This is the first middleweight title match, so it'll be really interesting after this match to see who the contenders are and whoever takes the title, who's going to be that next title shot.
Yeah. All right. Main event or other co-main event, Andrew Tackett versus Elijah Dorsey.
Dude, I've been waiting for Andrew Tackett versus Elijah Dorsey for a long time, pretty much ever since I found out about Elijah.
Yeah.
So he's from Team Lloyd Irvin. They've got a bunch of other guys kind of in similar weight classes too that are young and super skillful. Lloyd Irving has been able to produce top athletes in this sport for a very long time. So when I saw Elijah, saw the way he was grappling, and he was super skillful, and I was like, man, that is going to be a good matchup against Andrew. And just over the times, the two haven't met. So like Andrew won trials after Elijah. So there was a trials where Andrew sat out. He did not compete. Elijah won 77. The next trials, Andrew won 77. So you can tell just from that, like these two guys would be a great matchup for each other. If either one of them was in the bracket during those trial runs, they might not have been, winning the trials. So they both won. Elijah, I think you'll like this. Elijah's nickname is Big Breakfast. So I don't really get it, but it's like, he always tags it. That's his Instagram handle and stuff. So another interesting thing about Elijah is he actually beat William Tackett when they were juveniles.
Oh,
so
crazy.
Elijah has a win over William. So kind of same thing for Ronaldo having the win over Cody. I think that Andrew's going to be like, man, I'm getting that back for Big Bro.
Yeah.
So what is this? Andrew's second title defense. He won the title against Canuto. Then he defended it. So since he won the title, he's moved from Austin, Texas out to Vegas.
Yep.
So this is, I think, first full camp in Vegas.
Yeah.
Second title defense. So this is, to me, a matchup that has been needing to happen for years, and I'm just super excited that it's happening. I love the format that it's happening under, 3 5-minute rounds. It's going to be really high paced. Elijah's going to come ready to go. He's had enough time to prepare for this. He's been able to watch Andrew compete. So I'm very interested to see what plan Lloyd Irving came up with on how to stop Andrew, because Andrew, arguably more so than William this summer, has just been looking unstoppable. Yeah. So the pressure's on Elijah to see if he can take down the champ, and I think that he is like the best contender for this category right now. There's some other guys that I'd like to see Andrew go up against as well, but I think for now this is a really good contender for the welterweight title. Say it again.
Hell of a card.
Hell of a card, dude. I'm really excited about it. I've seen everybody but the MMA fighters compete in person. So I feel like in tune with these athletes, and I kind of know what to expect from them. And we will find out Thursday night. Yeah.
Looking forward to being there, being there, watching it live. That'll be sick.
Yeah. So it's going to be at the Apex in Las Vegas. If you can't make it out, which I know seating is very limited, check it out on YouTube. UFC BJJ streams his stuff for free, so you can check it out there. And if you see us at the event, say what's up.
Any close? Is that it?
Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. This is Game Plan Audible, our second YouTube channel. Go check out our podcast episodes over at Game Plan the Pod. And comment down below which matchup you're looking forward to seeing the most.
Yep. Game plan?
Game plan.
Sick.
I feel like I actually prepared so much that my answers were shorter.
21 minutes.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. It's great clips.